To get to Wonder City, Izuku would have to traverse through old and familiar ground, making his way back to the Sionis steel mill once again. That would have the quickest route that would get him to where he needed to go the fastest. All the while, Joker was enjoying sending a lot of voicemails. He really had a lot of downtime. Hello? Can you hear me, little bats? Say, I wonder what I should start calling you. Bat Boy, Bat Junior, the Bat Boy Wonder? No, that's been done to death. I just... It's just so wonderful. Not really, but, dying and stuff, it's not the greatest thing in the world. Oh, here's your pills, Papa J. Yeah, here you go. Oh, thank you. Oh, you girls remind me so much of Harley after the whole shock therapy thing. Still, it's a beautiful sight to see. It runs in the family. Speaking of family, let's talk about you, Bat Boy. I wonder what the old bats thought of bringing you into this funny little game of ours. He goes rogue, stays retired for all these years, then steps out of retirement to fight with that blasted, what's his name, all something, all great, all dickhead. It's all he is, anywho. The whole evil for evil's sake, world domination, la-di-da-di-da. I remember a time when people used to do things with a bit more flash, with a bit more finesse, pizzazz. Where's the glitz, the glamour? It's like villains don't know how to be villains these days. Seriously, it makes me sick. Everyone monologuing, going on and on and on about how they're gonna do X, Y, and Z, about how they're gonna blow this up and cut this apart and fill this riddled with bullets. But for me, I prefer to just be spontaneous, do things in the thrill of a moment. I mean, where's the Joker fish? Where's the Joker blimp? I mean, for crying out loud, I took over an insane asylum and filled myself up with a lot of chemicals. Note to self, kid. Don't do drugs. It's not good for you. But seriously, you might want to hurry up with that cure. I mean, I would have expected old bats to have been back by now. But I guess this is what happens when you put your faith in the youth. No, I think I took the wrong pills. Dee help your Papa Joker up. I think I've got to go to the restroom. All right then, I'll leave you to it, little bats. Toodaloo. And until we meet again. Oh, that's bad. You know what? On second thought, bring me my diaper. Oh, that's disgusting. As Izuku continued to glide in the air, off in the distance he saw someone standing on the rooftops. Even under the cover of night, Izuku could see that the being was clad in white and red. He threw something at him, akin to a version of a batarang. Izuku would grab it easily before pivoting over towards him. Getting a closer look, he could see that the man in white, with a red cross on his chest, intimidating to say the least, almost like the inverse of himself. I noticed you when I first got here, Izuku would say. You've been watching me. In fact, I've spotted your symbol a few times. You've been trying to get my attention. Well, now you've got it. But I'm not really in the mood right now. I'm in a bit of a hurry. So whatever this is going to be, Let's just get it over with. I just came to see if it was true that the Batman has returned. I assure you, I am no adversary. You could say that we are kindred spirits. You can call me Azrael. Well, Azrael, it's been nice meeting you, but I really need to go. Indeed you do. But I must warn, dark times are coming, Izuku Midoriya. You know who I am. I do. But believe me, I have not come seeking a challenge. I merely offer you a warning. The darkness will soon loom over this country. A great evil is on the rise. And I see select warriors rising to challenge that evil. Though I question, where will you be when it is all said and done? Will you survive? And will you lead them to the light? Or will you be swallowed by the darkness? This only the gods can know. In a puff of smoke, Azrael would vanish, leaving Izuku there by himself. He wasn't one to believe in prophecy or give it much thought, though there was a weird, unsettling feeling, something in the back of his head, in the depth of his own heart. He wasn't sure why or when, just that something was coming. Izuku would continue to the steel mill before eventually finding a large open covering that would lead down to the sewer system below. That would be his gateway into Wonder City. What exactly is waiting for me down here, sir? Izuku spoke to Bruce through the intercoms. It's history, Izuku. My history. You could say that Arkham City is no mere coincidence. It's a place that I'm rather familiar with. What do you mean? As I'm sure you're aware, the prefecture of Gotham is made up of 3 districts: Neon Gotham, Bloodhaven, and Jump City. Yes, I'm aware. But there was originally 4 districts that made up Gotham. You could say that what Arkham City is now was that 4th district, what many have called Old Gotham. Okay, and what about it? This is where the war took place, Izuku. The war? You mean with the League of Assassins? With your son? Yes. It was 10 years ago. 10 years ago when the world believed that the Batman had fought his last fight. Batman and the Bat family engaged in a night-long battle with the League, who launched what many considered their final attack, a desperate bid to wreck and cause chaos, to destroy the heroes once and for all. Many famed heroes took part in this battle, even including All Might, but his involvement paled in comparison to what transpired. A fight between father and son. A battle that resulted in Bruce taking Damian's eye, in a way symbolically creating the new Deathstroke. But this was also the night that he lost his son for a second time, Jason Todd, who tragically lost his life in the war. This was the battle that changed everything for Bruce. The battle that put him into retirement. And only the threat of all for one could even drag him out of that. Because on this night, he did something he thought he'd never do. When he fought Damien, he wasn't just fighting to incapacitate or to defeat. He fought to kill. That night, Damian Wayne would never forget. Because he got something that no villain, not even the Joker, could ever get from the Batman. He got the Batman to fight with the intent to kill. It was kind of ironic, almost poetic. Bruce wouldn't use this type of force against anyone. Not against the Joker, not against his rogues, not against the scum of the earth. But he put that much effort. He wanted it that badly against him. For Bruce, that was his greatest failure, his ultimate sin. What made him put away the cowl. Because on that night, for Bruce, he went against everything he stood for, everything he believed in. He knew that there was no coming back from that. And it was only the threat of all for one that even jerked him out of retirement to begin with. But ever since, he'd been recluse, keeping to himself. But underneath, there lied Wonder City, a place that was thought to be the future, but had turned into an eerie reminder of the past. It was within these tunnels where Bruce had another encounter, but this time with Ra's al Ghul. It was believed that in these catacombs was his final resting place, but that was of his own volition. It wasn't a coincidence to Bruce that Arkham City would be built where so many memories were held. The final war, the resting place of Ra's al Ghul. All of it felt too much to just be coincidence. In the old days, Bruce told Izuku as he traversed through the catacombs. In the old days, things used to be different. Contrary to popular belief, the crime rate that everyone praised for being so low were only crimes committed by quirk users, not crime in general. The Hero Public Safety Committee had a way of fudging the numbers to make things appear better than they were. But I thought All Might led the golden era of peace. I thought you both did. So where were all these super criminals coming from? It's simple. All Might had a 10-year head start on me in terms of our hero careers. The 10 years that All Might spent during his first years as a hero, those were the years I spent training, preparing myself. By the time All Might's 10th year rolled around, that's when I stepped onto the scene. In the beginning, we didn't see eye to eye. In fact, we clashed on many occasions. Technically speaking, I was a vigilante working outside the law. And it wasn't until new legislation was passed that even gave me permissible excuse to act the way that I did. But even then, I knew that I had my limits. But all in all, I gained a newfound respect for All Might. Both All Might and I shared the same dream. What we wanted to be to the world. Symbols in our own right. For All Might, he wanted to be the ultimate symbol of peace. In doing so, he became the ultimate power. He became so strong and so mighty that no one could challenge him. He shined like the sun itself, giving a ray of hope. But for me, I took a different path. For as great as All Might is, he can't be everywhere at once. That was one power he didn't get. Simply put, no matter where All Might went, there was always going to be trouble in another area, in another place. And during those times, there were criminals who thought themselves beneath All Might's radar. Those who chose to lurk in the shadows of night, to hide and conceal their evil. I decided that I would become the shadow of the night that would hunt the other shadows and bring them to justice. That's why I became the Batman. If All Might was the sun that illuminated everyone with its rays, then I would become the moon that stole its light from the sun to shine upon evil as a warning, a symbol of fear. And that is how our relationship came to be. But ever since, the world has changed. It's evolved. Criminals have become stronger, deadlier, more ruthless. Not ones that can be easily dissuaded. And now there are those who don't even have a rhyme or reason, who simply want to watch the world burn. Why are you telling me all of this? Izuku would ask, even though he roughly knew it all from the beginning. Because we're reaching a critical point, Izuku. The world is continuing to change, continuing to grow and evolve. The Batman must grow and evolve with it. This night is only the first night. The first night of many that you may have to face. No, that you will face. Evil never stops. It may slow, but it will never go away. You must continue to drive out the evil. But it's not for the faint of heart. If you're trying to dissuade me, it's not going to work, Izuku said. Izuku, I'm fine. I just need a moment. Your bio readings in your suit, it's not looking good. What am I looking for? Within the walls of Wonder City, I believe that you will find a portion of the Lazarus Pit. The Lazarus Pit. I'm not supposed to. You're not going to use it. I just believe that if there are traces of Ra's al Ghul within it, maybe you can use it. It can work as the enzyme that's needed. All right then. Izuku! I'm fine. Just give me a moment. Izuku staggered his way through the catacombs of Wonder City, eventually finding a great door. It would lead to the entranceway, but it was obvious that it hadn't been used in centuries. There had to be another way inside. It was just then that out of nowhere, in a puff of smoke, a ninja would attack. She swung her sword that cut at Izuku's chest, drawing some blood. Izuku would hold up his wrist gauntlets to evade and to block, eventually snapping the sword and conveniently finding a hole in the wall that it could fit through. After placing it in, Izuku would snap the ninja's face into the hilt of the sword, knocking her down to the ground as a secret entranceway would open. As Izuku would stumble and move further, he would eventually find an open hall. But from there, more female guards would arrive. One, shorter than the rest, around the same height as Izuku, would come charging towards them. She was silent and said nothing, instead only moving with the will of her sword. Izuku engaged with the female combatant as the other guardswomen would stand and watch in attention, watching as the one that led them did battle with the intruder. Izuku facing off against the female assassin. The two of them seemed to be evenly matched and well-versed, although given Izuku's condition at the moment, safe to say he had to stick to fighting on the more defensive side of things. Eventually, though, he found himself falling to one knee with her blade pressed against his throat. "Cassandra! That is enough. He is defeated." The girl would draw her blade as she silently nodded to the older woman that walked towards her. "After all this time, you've chosen another apprentice. Nysa," Bruce would say. "Who is she?" "Her name is Nysa. Nysa Ratako. I am the younger sister to Talia Al Ghul, daughter of Raish Al Ghul. I know you can hear me, Bruce. Why have you sent your errand boy into this domain? You were never one to accept being the head of the demon, and personally it does not suit you." "I've come looking for Raish." "You look for Raish?" "I'm afraid that you are a little too late for that," Nysa would say. "My father has been dead for a long time, buried away for almost 25 years, give or take. What business would you wish to have, young warrior?" "I need his blood. It's complicated, but it's the key to saving the people of Gotham." "Is it now?" "Saving people was never my father's forte. He believed that the best way to save them was to purge the evil." "You agree with that?" "Of course not. I may call him my father, but he was more estranged than anything else. We never saw eye to eye on most things, and he considered me to be more of a letdown than anything else. And then there is my nephew, Damien. More of a demon spawn, if you ask me. He took over the League of Assassins, and, as much as I'd hate to say it, he's done a worser job than my father ever could. But, in a weird way, I'm sure that Raish would probably be proud of his grandson, knowing what he's managed to accomplish, and whatever else he intends to do." "Why exactly are you here?" "To destroy what remains of the Lazarus Pit. Finding Lazarus is not just reserved to this portion of the world. There are deposits of it all over, though it can be hard to find. Damien has control of the main source that comes from the Sacred City, the home base of the League of Assassins. I had plans of going there to destroy its main source, but for now I've been destroying the small deposits wherever I can. It's not as simple as just burying it away, no. It takes a while to destroy the chemical compound that makes it up, and this area is probably the most potent, seeing as how it was the final resting place of my father. And now you wish to get your hands on it, believing that it will provide a cure? I believe so. And why should I trust this? Izuku would begin to lift off his mask. It didn't take much for them to see how severe the sickness was growing within him. Even your life is on the line. The Lazarus is dangerous. It's not something to be toyed around with or used on a whim. But desperate times do call for desperate measures. Will you take the demon trial? The demon trial? You wish to meet with Ra's al Ghul himself, do you not? I may not know a lot of things, but I know the customs of the League. It can be set up for you, if you are willing to take it, and all that comes with it. I don't have much of a choice now, do I? Very well then. Cassandra, we will begin the ceremony. A short time later, Izuku was led down a hall of stairs to the entranceway of a room. Cassandra standing to his left and Nyasa to his right. Think carefully now, child. Once you begin the demon trials, you will be on your own. Like always. Izuku opened the door as it closed behind him. The room was dark, save for a glowing chalice sitting on the table in the center. A blue liquid, refined, perfectly made. Lazarus in its most potent form. Izuku's head would start to spin as he could hear a voice. The detective has chosen a new student. I wonder how you will fare. You have come to accept my challenge, to test and see if you are worthy. All you must do is drink from the chalice. That is your first step. Simply drink. Izuku did just so. He could feel his heartbeat beginning to calm, the pain starting to subside. That bit of Lazarus will only extend your life a few more precious hours. Eventually, the room would begin to break away as Izuku saw a world torn and destroyed, buried away in the sands of time. Merely memories of what once remained. Follow me in your journey into this world. If you truly wish to find me, but be warned, touch anything and you will die. This concludes My Hero Academia: The Dark Knight Returns. What If Deku Was Batman? Season 3, Part 5 of the Arkham City arc. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that is to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned tomorrow as we'll be continuing with My Hero Academia: The Dark Knight Returns. What If Deku Was Batman? Season 3, Part 6 of the Arkham City arc. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time. Protocol 10 will commence in 5 hours.